G'day team, hope you are super well. Today I want to talk to you about why business metrics matter. So fresh off a conversation with an amazing client this morning about helping him grow and scale his business. And, um, we were talking about the whole process in terms of like the customer or the client acquisition journey through to, the sales process through to, project delivery and that sort of thing. And, you know, it's really important to understand your business metrics and know why they matter to your business. So, like a classic kind of case in point is business development. Like most people, when it comes to sales, marketing, and business development, they're doing this scattergun approach, which is like, I'm just going to catch up with a whole bunch of people and see what comes of it. Or I'm going to send out a whole bunch of emails and see what comes of it. Or I'm going to send out a whole bunch of messages on LinkedIn and see what comes of it. And no one's measuring the metrics behind that to see what's actually effective when it comes to marketing and sales and business development. The other thing that most people are guilty of is not tracking those conversations or not having somewhere where those conversations are stored, tracked, measured. There's no follow-ups. There's no like reminders. It's just like, I'm going to go and catch up with this person. And then, someone on your team asks you, oh, how did your catch up go with that client the other day? And you're like, oh, that was actually a month ago and I've done nothing about that. And so many people are so guilty. Or fee proposals. Like no one tracks fee proposals. There's no follow-up process there for tracking fee proposals or following up with a client or going, hey, where's this up to? Or do you need any more information? Or hey, it's been a couple of months. Did we win it or lose it? If we lost it, great. What do I need to like? What's the feedback for my business in terms of like why did we lose it? There's so many things here that slip through the cracks that if you focus on them, mean that revenue goes up, means your business runs more profitably and more systematically. It means that things just in general become easier because business metrics matter. So like I just said, classic kind of case in point is the business development side of things. A really simple thing to do is, and don't use a spreadsheet, please don't use a spreadsheet. We are in the age of technology allowing us to there's so many simple, free, easy softwares out there. Asana or some kind of project management software is such a simple thing for you to do. Like having a card in Asana or Trello or one of those kind of places where every time you have a catch up with a new client, there's a card created for that client. And the contents of your discussion, you come back from that meeting and you're like, this is what I spoke to Brad or Mary about. What's my next action? I'm going to follow up with them in 2 weeks. Or my next action is I'm going to send them a cap statement now, and then I'm going to follow up with them in 2 weeks. You assign that task for yourself. You set the due date for 2 weeks, and voila, the system reminds you to follow up with that person in 2 weeks. It's not a month or 6 weeks later, and you're like, oh crap, I should have followed up with that person. You need to have a system in place for measuring your metrics in your business and having a follow up. So, business development, existing client relationships in terms of um, tracking those relationships. Like you're doing work for clients on existing projects, but what's your process for measuring how much new work are you getting for that client, and what's the follow up with that particular person? Like I know, if you're working with a client on that project, great, but are you having conversations with the key client contact or the owner of that business outside of project work to go, hey, what's your pipeline like? What's coming up? How can we help you? Have you got any new projects that we could take a look at for you? Um, so having cards for existing clients in a project management software that set reminders to follow up with existing clients. Fee proposals. Every time a fee proposal goes out, having a card that gets created in a project management system that goes 1 week later. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, did you get our proposal? Response, yes or no. 2 weeks later, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, it's been a couple of weeks. Do you need anything further from us on that particular proposal? Yes or no, great. And so these are the follow-ups 1 month later. Hey, just seeing what's happened with that proposal. And so these are cards that you're creating for reminders and setting due dates because the follow-up matters and the business metrics matter and knowing your numbers. And so the conversation with the client this morning was, well, what's your conversion rate of proposals? I'm not sure. Okay, cool. Because if we know what your conversion rate is, we know whether or not your sales process is broken or not. You got marketing and get sales. You got marketing to generate opportunities in your business that leads to opportunities to submit proposals, and then you're into the sales process in terms of writing the proposal, catching up with the client team, understanding how your business can add value, submitting the proposal. Then you're into the follow-up phase. You don't know whether stuff's broken in your business unless you're actually measuring it. You can't and won't know whether stuff's broken in your business or needs fixing or needs attention unless you're measuring those metrics in that particular area. So if you start tracking your sales conversions and it's really good, that doesn't need attention. But if you're tracking your sales conversion, that's like 10%, like you win 1 out of every 10 proposal that you submit, that needs attention because you're doing great work in marketing, you're getting an opportunity to bid on 10 projects, but you're winning 1 in 10. That means that your marketing and opportunity creation doesn't necessarily need work, it's your conversion that needs work. Or conversely, if you know that your conversion rate's 60 to 80% on proposals, that means that you go, that's amazing. We can scale this now. Like our marketing pipeline's working, we're getting opportunities, and we're converting 60 to 80% of the projects that we bid on because we're selective and we've got a great bidding process and X, Y, and Z. That means you can go, we can put more people on here. We can put more grunt behind our marketing, which leads to sales, which means we can grow. So again, once you know your metrics and once you know your stats in those phases, you can go, that's actually working pretty damn good. Let's put some more horsepower behind that so we can grow. No different to projects. How profitable are your projects? Are you tracking that sort of stuff to know whether does every project that you work on lose you money? Does every project that you work on only make 5% margin? So again, you go, we're tracking that to understand whether or not it's broken. And so if your profit margins are 5%, project delivery needs work. Or you're tracking certain team members and going, okay, well, Brad's going really well, but Mary, he's at 30% net profit on all his projects. They're going really well. Client success scores, clients are really happy with the stuff that he's doing on projects. He's cool. But Mary over here, she's got 5% profit margins. We keep getting complaints. So we need to work with Mary on client acumen and project delivery and leadership for her team and that sort of stuff. But you won't know that. You won't know it's broken unless you're measuring the metrics in your business. And so I don't want you to feel overwhelmed coming out of this, today's episode. There's always stuff to get better in the business. But the fundamental of what I want to get across is unless you're measuring stuff, unless you're measuring things in your business across the whole life cycle of the project in the business and client acquisition and all that sort of stuff, you won't know whether it's broken to fix it. So put some systems in place, put some processes in place, start somewhere, build on it, fix something, then fix something else, fix something, then fix something else, kind of go through the process. But as my client said to me this morning, like you get to a certain size and then it's that kind of age-old saying, what got you to where you are won't get you to where you want to be going. And so everything that's in his business at the moment has supported him to get to, the size that he's at. But with, the growth ambitions that he has and wants to grow and expand into different areas and expand into different states and that sort of stuff, we need to work on those areas to know we need to know what's broken to get it working so that then he can grow. Because, having things in place now will suit the size that your business is now. But if you want to grow, you've got to put things in place to help it grow. And that's where business metrics matter and having systems and processes and things that follow up, because it all can't be up here. It all can't be in your head to a certain point. Like you can grow a $1 to $1.5 million business largely with stuff happening up in your head and relying on you. But past that point, you need systems, you need processes, you need to trust other people on your team, you need to delegate more effectively, you need other people doing things for you. And the only way to do that is through measuring your metrics, having systems and processes to fix things that aren't working to allow you to grow. So team, that's why business metrics matter. Measure stuff and measure it to know whether it's working or broken. And then if it's working, leave it and put some more horsepower behind it if you want to grow and scale. If it's broken, fix it, because that's going to be the limiting factor. If you try and go on scale too early and stuff's broken, the wheels are just going to fall off. So yeah, got to address those things first. Awesome team. That's all I wanted to cover in today's episode. So look, if you'd like to keep building your business on your own, I've had a ton of free resources to help you keep doing the journey on your own. But if you'd like some help for a proven system that helps you grow and scale your business to the level that you want to, and have the whole bunch of fun along the way and be surrounded by an amazing community, I'd love to invite you to join our Boardroom coaching program. So if that's you and you'd like some more information about Boardroom, just comment the word Boardroom below. Shoot me a text, give me a call, and let's have a chat about how I can help you build your business faster. Have a legendary day.